Welcome to the January monthly construction and traffic impacts webinar. We're so happy you could join us today to kick off the new year with an update on our progress. I apologize if you've had any trouble getting into our webinar. We will definitely look into that issue for next month, and I apologize. My name is Wendy Thompson. I'm from the Streetcar team, and my main role is to keep you informed about the project, especially any changes that might affect your daily commute or neighborhood. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me with your questions or concerns you have. As we look at the calendar for 2026, I want to be very direct and honest with you. This is going to be a big construction year. Because we are hitting several major milestones at once, it's likely going to feel like a lot. We know that behind every orange cone and detour is a person trying to get to work, a business owner trying to welcome customers, or a resident just trying to get home. We understand that these disruptions can be frustrating and exhausting. We truly understand this impact that it has on your daily life, and we don't take your patience for granted. Our entire team is committed to not just building the new infrastructure and the streetcar, but to being good neighbors while we do it, minimizing disruptions wherever possible, and keeping you informed so you can plan your day with confidence. Before we dive into the specific street closures and utility work, I want to encourage you to make this session interactive. We are here to answer your questions. Please feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen at any point during the presentation. You don't have to wait until the end. Type in construction and traffic questions as they come to mind, and we will address them during our presentation or when we reach out, when we reach out to our dedicated Q&A later in the session. To help us navigate the complexities of this upcoming year, I'm joined by a group of experts who are overseeing every angle of this project. We have Mike True, Omaha Public Works Department and the Streetcar Project Manager, Megan Walter, MUD Customer Engagement Manager, Steve Rue, Omaha Public Works Department Capital Construction and Street Maintenance Engineer, and Alyssa Smith, Omaha Public Works Department Media Relations Manager. Now I'd like to turn it over to Mike True.
Thank you, Wendy. Today's agenda will be covering these 10 main topics, and then we'll follow up at the end with your Q&A and reiterate what Wendy has already spoken about. If you have any questions during that, please click down at the bottom of your screen and go ahead and submit your questions now. And we hope to be able to answer them by the end of this. We're going to start off basically going through, just a reminder, when you're traveling work zones, please stay alert. Please follow the detours for both pedestrians, bicycle traffic. We do have some wayfinding signs out there. Try to stay out of any work zone with behind the cones, behind the barricades. Don't think of them as shortcuts. That's a good way to get injured and potentially cause other problems as well. Also, please plan ahead and remember to be patient. We're all going to have to be a little bit more patient with each other as we get through this. So the overall construction schedule, you can see the Harney Street Bridge, Utilities West, and Mecca Lot A. We've actually got 3 projects that have now been closed out. And as you can see, 2026, as was stated by Wendy, is going to be our busiest and heaviest construction year. You're going to have Turner Boulevard going. You're going to have the Farnham Bridge going. The vehicle maintenance facility is still rolling right along. Utilities East, this is going to be the bulwark of what they do. And streetcar mainline construction, which we'll get into a little more detail, has kicked off 2 of its headings already as of right now. As you can see, towards the end of this year and into next, the actual construction portion will begin to phase out. And we'll be getting more into actually testing and integrating this system and getting ready for opening in Q3 of 2028. And with that, I'm going to be turning it over to Megan Walter with MUD.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, right now, MUD is currently working in Phase 5 along Fordham Street from 19th to 26th Avenue. So, MUD has completed all gas main installation along Farnham west of 20th. However, a couple of gas services still need investigated in this area. The remaining work includes new gas main installation in 20th once other utility work is completed. In addition, Gas service work will be performed in the alley south of Farnham between 19th and 20th to relocate a couple of services off Farnham away from future streetcar tracks. Our next slide is related to Phase 8 in the Turner Boulevard area. So our crew has completed work along Harney Street and Park Avenue, and the city has poured the remaining concrete in the area. Traffic control will remain in place until work for one additional service is completed near 29th and Harney. We have two crews installing new gas mains in Farnham Street at Park Avenue and at 30th Street. We anticipate this work to be completed within about 2 weeks. So the traffic control is in place. However, traffic in all directions continues to flow. Finally, our third slide has all of our work on it. It shows all 8 phases of MUD's gas relocation work. The remaining work is showing in red for phases 5 and 8. We anticipate all gas main installation and service work to be completed in the spring of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. We're now going to transition into the city-run construction project, starting with the Farnham Street Bridge. I'll let you go ahead and take it away, Steve.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so moving on to the Farnham Bridge. So last year, obviously, we completed the Harney portion of this bridge tandem package that we have. So this Harney Bridge, obviously the big achievement that was accomplished last weekend was the demo. I think we should note, demo for both bridges was anticipated to take 2 full weekends, and in both cases, Hawkins, our contractor, was able to complete it in 1 weekend. In this case, over this last weekend, they were done by 6 o'clock Sunday night, so about 12 hours earlier than we had allowed. So they were really working. Anybody that was out there and saw it, really working quickly and efficiently to get that open. This limits another potential weekend of disruption. We had it open Monday for everybody commuting to work. So I thought that was really great. It went super smooth. Really appreciate the efficient, quick work that happened there on that. So now that that's down, some of the other work that was completed, like right before that, we had to take off some water main connections, do some removals off the bridge. All that stuff was done in preparation for the bridge. We get the bridge down. Now we're going to move into rebuilding the bridge and the intersections around it. So things you're going to see in the next couple of weeks. 28th Street is closed there, from Harney to Farnham. That's closed right now. That'll be closed for quite a while. They're going to be setting up in there to do some water main work. Additionally, you're going to start seeing them driving pile. So obviously this happened on the last bridge. They'll be out there with the drop hammer, driving pile. It will be, we should be upfront, it's going to be loud. It will be loud during the day. I know on the last bridge, I got some calls where people were expressing concern that they were out there doing this work at night. I assure you that that is not the case. They are not out there after dark. It is dangerous. It would require light plants, and it would be exceptionally loud. So if you do hear random loud noises at night, I assure you it is not driving pile, but it will be during the day. It is loud. They'll be on both sides of the bridge in the next couple months, and then in the center island again. So anticipate that work occurring for a period of time. You're also going to see that closure. That closure is eventually going to extend of 28th Street. That closure is eventually going to extend all the way up to Dodge coming in mid-February. And then that will basically correlate to the closure we're going to talk about on Turner. So that's going to happen through April, that full closure there. So we're showing some detour routes on this map. If you're trying to utilize the Harney Street exit to go back to the west, the marked detour that we have is Harney to 24th to Dodge. And if you were going to Midtown, we're asking people to use that jug handle there to come back down 33rd. That'll take you through a lighted intersection. Don't turn left on Dodge, right? We all know that. And if you were trying to leave, I would suggest attempting to utilize 33rd Street to leave there as well. We are showing a detour through the park, and we can cover that again with Turner, but these are the detours that are signed. We have lots of wayfinding signs out there, the big electronic DMS boards explaining where to go, so you can find your way through those detours. And that's kind of where we're at with the bridge. This bridge, we're just getting started. We'll work through it this year and probably see completion come this fall. Utilities East package. So we have the three big utility packages, right? So we have West. West is complete now. That's fantastic. So that West utilities package, everything west of Turner, we're done with the utility work. Kiewit's out there starting mainline work right now. We have the Turner package that we'll talk about after this. And then we have this package, Utilities East package. This is by far the largest package, largest footprint, largest scope of work. This is a very immense package here to get the water mains, sanitary work, et cetera, done before we move in with mainline and make sure our infrastructure is acceptable for the future streetcar that's coming in. You can see a lot of closures marked on here. I'm going to run through a few. Farnham 8th to 10th is closed, but we are anticipating that opening in the coming 2-3 weeks. Farnham 11th to 13th, we show road opening. We think it'll be open fully 10th to 11th in a week, and then we're going to have about one lane access the rest of the way to 13th. We are working towards a full closure of 14th at Farnham for some water main work that has to happen there. That's going to close down the whole intersection while that work occurs. So going west to 13th or trying to come east to 15th, that'll be closed off there. So anticipate that coming up on the 19th. That's marked on there. Harney 10th to 11th, we have a Monday opening. And I know the other one, let's see, 10th Street, Dodge to Douglas, we're anticipating that being open next week. So they're out there pouring that back later this week. So we should anticipate that. So you're going to see, again, as all these crews wrap this work up and you see some openings come up, that just means these crews are moving west. This whole thing starts here on the east side of this project and just keeps moving west. You're going to see us come in and close a section. It'll open, and that crew just slides down Farnham, down Harney, working its way west. Farther west on the project, we have a number of electrical work items outlined there. Those have all been occurring for a while. They just keep sliding west as well. No full closures at this point in time, but there are a lot of restrictions, no parking marked, things like that. So just be aware if you're in this corridor, traffic control is going to change a lot. Like Mike said, pay attention, put your phone down, be safe. And this year, we're really going to work through the vast majority of this project by January of next year. So big project, but it's moving along really well. On to the last project here, our Turner Boulevard project. So this one, in terms of the three utility packages, smallest footprint, but some pretty complex work here. So right at Turner and Farnham, there's an extremely deep sewer manhole there. So we're going to excavate down about 35 feet. The excavation itself is about 40 feet across. That's not counting workspace or whatever. So essentially you can kind of envision that whole intersection there. Half of it's going to be an extremely deep excavation. So what's that, a 3.5-story building deep? And then the rest of that work area is going to be set up. The reason that intersection is closed is for the work area, and then additionally for safety. With that very deep excavation there, safety of the crew, safety of the traveling public. We cannot have people in that work area, so that's reestablished. So that work has started. That's going to occur between now and the end of April. Right now, I think we have April 28th identified as the kind of finish date for that work. Obviously, that'll be weather dependent as we work through winter here. But long ways to go on that work right there. Smaller footprint. Again, we show the same detour map with Turner being closed there. If you are trying to access kind of that west side of Farnham, I would suggest using Harney. I think there's an option to use St. Mary's there. Use your wayfinding on your phone, obviously, is always a great alternative as well. But few routes to get around kind of this little construction here with Turner and the bridges and get to that west side of Farnham there. So I think I touched on where we're at with that. So I believe Mike is taking up the VMF and the main line.
Thank you, Steve. Pardon me. We are into mainline construction work. On the exhibit in front of you, the orange area, it says January 2026. Then on the opposite, on the right side of the screen, there's a purple box that says January 2026 as well. That's the two headings we're kicking off. North side of Farnham, west of Turner. Kiewit's out there demolishing and removing concrete today. They've been out there saw cutting and starting to set up some of their traffic controls. Other end, out around 10th and Capitol, seen some signs going up, and Capitol from 10th to 8th, somewhat of a curve down 8th. They'll also be adding some more traffic controls in and around 10th Street. These are two of the tightest areas that we're going to be starting in first, so hopefully some of the more challenging areas will get off on the right foot and be ready to run. A third crew is supposed to be slated to come out here quarter 2, and you can see that they'll be bouncing down along Farnham and Harney uh, by the light green box and the light red box, also towards the east end. Um, First crew again is out there, demolition. That'll be followed by a civil crew, and we can get into some of that after this. So, yep, first crew is demolition. Upper right corner, you can see they basically remove pavement, move anything out of the way in the work zone. They'll come back and add, where possible, these bridges. Next comes a civil crew. They prep sud drains, they add electrical conduit, they add any communication lines as well. Then after that, or usually while this is going to be happening, this crew will show up here in late March, where we're going to have actual rails stacked up. They'll weld it up, place it. It's going to come in 80-foot sticks, get welded into 320 to 400 foot long, and then stacked again on the roadside. While they're doing that, and after the civil crew is through, you're going to have an actual skeletonization crew come in. They'll make the rebar form, a place to hold that track in place, add any of the finalized drain tie-in points and anything else. That's followed by your concrete crew. And as you can see in both the previous slide and this one, there's still those bridges coming across. As often as possible, the intent is to maintain traffic in this linear construction fashion. There will be a need for closures at times where they're actually directly demoing out concrete at that time, placing rail, placing concrete. After your concrete goes in, you have a cleanup crew that'll come out, do some striping, put back any appurtenances, benches, whatnot. Also, they'll be at this time, once the rail's in the ground, that's when they'll get into the actual vertical and putting in the particular stops. Next. There we go. So this is the west end. This is in and around Turner Boulevard is there on the right. That intersection of Farnham and Turner is completely closed down right now for some really deep manhole work again, mainly for safety crews, traveling public. That'll be going through the end of April. This is the setup we're going to have now through April of this year. You can come in off of Dodge as a jug handle, come down 33rd, park in that garage. You get 2 hours of free parking. You can go to any businesses you need to. And then if you want to go left on Dodge, I've done this now a couple of days since they've shut this down. You come out, go up to Dodge, take a left-hand turn, or you can go south through 33rd and pick another way going back. You can also, if that garage is starting to get full, which would be great, there is another garage there along Harney Street that can also then exit out onto Harney. And if you come down, you want to park more immediately where those businesses are on the south side, park closer to any of them, you can exit through Turner Park itself and out to Dodge Park. Once the Turner work is done, we will have one continuous westbound lane maintained as they go through here. This is the Capitol closure right now. The intent is to have one southbound lane during this work. Right now, there is for local traffic, can get from 10th to 9th. That's going to be open for a few more weeks. Once that work needs to be shut down, we'll have a few months where that's going to be shut down. And you will have this alternate route where you can come down Douglas Street, up 8th, and go left and reach the businesses, or if you're a resident in and around this area. This is one of the charging station stops. Also, we're going to be having what's currently your northbound lane, which goes west, and then you can turn out and continue north along 10th. That is actually now going to be an eastbound lane, but transit only, that has to be isolated. And then you also have the stop and some of the power systems there. So this is a little bit more complicated methodology because we're actually changing traffic flows. And we're also adding a lot of equipment here that's going to take some time to install. So the overall upcoming work that's going on, we've got the two headings that are out there now. There's heading 1, second heading's over at Capitol, and then starting in March and April, we'll start having Farnham and Harney, a third crew, coming out here and getting work going on. And there's some more of the specifics that are going to be happening. I think that covers most of. Oh, there's the VMF. VMF, as you can see, steel is all up. There they are pouring some of the floor slabs and some of the second floor mezzanine deck. They are continuing along. This is going on a little bit ahead of schedule. Hope that that holds for the rest of the schedule. And next week, they should start having some of the precast sides shipped to the site and attached to the building. This is really starting to look like the box that it is. The photo on the right shows you pretty close to where the front bays are going to be when eventually this is all said and done. But yeah, the one on the left, you can really see a nice sunrise there over 480, and that mezzanine level is where OSA will actually be housed when this facility is complete. Business support. Normally, this is covered by another member of our team, but just to give you a brief overview of what's been going on, we have been there have been wayfinding signs. We're trying to have increased communications, whether it be through our social media. We are working through with stakeholders as we go along and modifying traffic plans as necessary, particularly also for pedestrians. Again, I briefly mentioned there's a couple of garages up in Midtown, and the first couple hours are free there. And we are doing some business promotion. And kind of one of the big business promotion ideas that we're doing as of right now is the passport program. And I'll hand that off to Alyssa to cover that in more detail.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So the passport program is active right now and runs through March 31st. This is a program where you can visit and support local businesses that or participating businesses and collect a sticker. You can pick up those passports at any of the participating businesses. You'll see one of the big posters in their windows. If they are, you can also find that information on our website. If you are a business that hasn't had a chance to sign up yet with the craziness of the holidays and things happening, you can still sign up by filling out, just visit the website and there's a link on our website to sign up. Up next, we have some construction communications. We have several ways for you to stay involved and get all of the information you need. One of the new kind of exciting things that we're doing this year are corridor office hours. Every Wednesday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. We actually had our first one this morning, and we will continue these. So next week we'll be at Flora, and then the week after that we'll be at All Make. This is where myself and other city representatives will be available. It is very informal. Come have a cup of coffee, ask any questions you may have to get really that hyper local, individualized information for your business or your residents in the area. We also host these public webinars every month. We've been doing these for just over a year now, and we want to make sure that they continue to be valuable for you. So please make sure to sign up ahead of time, and you can also submit your questions to us ahead of time so that we can make sure that we are able to answer those for you. Our next one is coming up on February 4th. And then finally, we are hosting a couple informational meetings. We will do a short presentation and QA session. Next, our one on Tuesday is at the Marriott on 10th and Capitol in the gallery space. And then next week on Wednesday, we're hosting one in Midtown at the Scriptown Brewery. Again, we will give a short presentation and then we will open the floor for questions with our engineering and construction team members. And then finally, on our website, we recently launched a new website in December. This website does have all of our latest information and this progress map, so you can see exactly what's happening in your area. And finally, if you have any questions or concerns or need To get answers to any questions, myself and Wendy are always available. Here you can see our emails and phone numbers.
So now let's begin the Q&A session with questions that were sent in but haven't been answered yet as we went through our presentation. Please continue to add questions about construction and traffic impacts to the Q&A box. So Mike, let's start with the first question for you. That was, will there be a temporary bike lane during construction? And is there a reason a temporary bikeway wasn't put in place after the Harney one was taken down?
Temporary bike lane within the streetcar corridor, there will be no bike lanes added until the streetcar project is complete. There is a bike lane project that will start at Dewey Turner, head down Farnham. We've already incorporated that into the Farnham Street Bridge. That's actually why it's wider. We've got another row of girders just for that. Comes down to 17th, turns over, goes down Harney. We're going to simply wait until the streetcar project and all the other development that's going on in this area is completed, and then that will be added in. But at this time, no, we're not going to be putting in a temporary bike lane, and a permanent one will be done after the streetcar project has come through.
Thank you.
That first bike lane was a pilot project, and that pilot project's success is why it is being considered being added onto this. So it's not that we took one away. The pilot project has ended, and now the permanent bike lane that will be constructed is intended for the end of this project.
Yep. Pilot project was only supposed to run through 2024. It was considered successful, so we are going to do a permanent one. There was never a immediate transition plan after that, to clarify. Thank you, Steve.
And I do have contact information for the person that submitted that question, so I can get you connected to the actual project that is building that if you have further questions. Our next question is, why did the opening get pushed to 2028?
Mostly that is due to the increased scope of utility work that's coming along with all of this. The original intended opening date was late 26, early 27. As we progressed along in design, it was around 60% that they started to realize we're going to have to push that out. And as we got to 100% design last spring and into contract negotiation in the summer, that was a realistic date time frame that we came up with. But with everything from testing, construction, acquisition of the vehicles, and just the utility work had dramatically grew from what was originally planned, we've had to push back the opening date.
Thank you. Our next question is, are there any plans to add a temporary light at the exit out of Turner Park onto Dodge at 31st Street or Avenue?
That's been discussed, both city traffic engineer, city engineer. Dodge is a state highway, and for that temporary, so this would only be from now through April. We've escalated that question before, and we've been told no at this time. We're going to observe traffic patterns in that area, and that's what we can do for now.
Thank you. Our final question is about 10th Street from Dodge to Capitol. Will there be any northbound closures on 10th Street between Dodge and Capitol?
Yeah, I saw that question. I need to verify what's put into the traffic control plans. Right off the top of my head, I believe the northbound lanes are closed and we are going head to head in the southbound lanes. So while that message is very confusing, I believe it is accurate. The northbound lanes will be closed and all traffic will be put head to head in the southbound lanes. But I would like to confirm that. I wish we had a contact for that person. Either way, if anybody else has the same question, we will update the traffic control website and we will update this language for some clarity. So I'm actually trying to find the traffic control right now.
The north lanes, just to add on to that, is where the northbound lanes, so the east lane of the road, has to have tracks put in there and the turnouts to then proceed along Capitol. So they will have to be shut down to be demoed out and have track laid.
Thank you. That appears to be our last question for today. So thank you for all of the great questions. Mike, did you want to close it out?
Oh. I want to thank everyone who is attending, also our panelists for their time as well. But this is going to be the roughest construction year. This is the heaviest. As you saw, we've got the bulk of our utility work is going to be going on through here. We've got the most of the bridge work is going to be hitting at this particular time. So when you're going to have your most closures, you're going to have all three of Kiewit's crews just going as hard as they can. We appreciate everyone. As Wendy had said, behind every orange cone, there's somebody else's business, livelihood, where they live. And we're going to do our best to minimize impacts. And we're going to try to keep it as smooth as we can reasonably through this year. So thank you for your patience. And please feel free to reach out to us and we'll do what we can.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great day, everyone.